Hi everyone, Gush Katif Vegetables back in the salad bowl. An artist from Ashdod takes us all the way to the shtetls of Old Poland, completing the third tractate of the Talmud, the IDF submarine crewman, and a visit from the chief rabbi of Tunisia today on Israeli Salad. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. According to a recent report, around 1,800 Gush Katif evacuees lost their jobs due to the expulsion. The Alei Katif salad factory was one of the big factories that operated in Gush Katif. Alei Katif produced what is known as Gush Katif vegetables, which have become part of the common kosher menu. The Alei Katif factory has, thank God, reopened in Sderot. Now let's take a closer look at the new factory. If you happen to enter a kosher restaurant anytime soon and see the words Gush Katif vegetables, don't be surprised. Turns out that the Chasalat Alei Katif factory, the leading vegetable factory of Gush Katif, is back in business. The Chasalat factory specializes in producing insect-free vegetables, kosher to eat, right out of the packages. Now, after being expelled from Gush Katif, the Chasalat staff is looking ahead.
It's a new beginning. Life continues. We had to rebuild everything from scratch.
Some of the employees lived very close to the factory, which was located in Kfar Darom. The new factory brings up memories of the fields they departed from only a few months ago.
In Kfar Darom, we felt more connected to the land. Here, we're in a big industrial area. We were very close to the farming. Anyhow, there is a feeling that you're not in your own place. We came to Gush Katif because we felt that it's our home, and now that we've been replaced, it's difficult.
The location has changed, but in terms of the kashrut, there is no change at all.
Indeed, we're now working in a more crowded environment, but the kashrut hasn't been damaged. We've put in much effort.
We're
now in the production room of the chilled vegetables. We get this iceberg lettuce from the field.
ומפה למעשה מתחיל תהליך הייצור של המוצרים.
As it says, you shall choose life. We must not sink into depression and despair. We must push ahead looking forward with optimism.
Now that's what I call a real Israeli salad. Postmodern art is a style that is seen in many museums and art galleries in Israel, like in many other countries around the world. The paintings of the artists we will now meet are not part of the contemporary art genre, but rather are a throwback to old world paintings that remind us the venerable and often charming life in a shtetl, the Jewish towns of pre-Holocaust Poland. Entering the studio of artist Boris Dovrinov in Ashdod is like turning your clock back and entering a Jewish town in Poland of the early 1900s. One-story homes with red roofs, water drawers and woodcutters, rabbis and educators, and children who learn Torah in the local cheder. This is a taste of the serene life that once existed for Jews in exile before the Holocaust. This lifestyle is reflected in Boris's paintings.
I'm illustrating the life that was long ago. They had hardships then. Many were poor. In my thoughts, I imagine my grandfather, what I saw on his face. He was a real Jew.
In order to create the most precise depiction of the Jewish town, it's not enough to hear the stories and learn the history. Before approaching the pedestal, Boris looks at old historical photographs.
Here I learn how they used to look. I see their hats, their behavior, the beards, the peot. These are the things that represent that era. They had a sort of innocence. On their faces you could see this. You can see the whole life through a face. For example, when I painted these children, I presented them as very innocent. They're sitting here, and even as they play in their spare time, they're learning Torah. It's their whole life. For them, it's life.
On Israeli Salad 79, we talked about the completion of the daily study of the Babylonian Talmud. This learning cycle is also known as the Daf Yomi. Well, the Daf Yomi learning program is already beginning the 4th tractate of Talmud. Here's a look at a ceremony marking the completion of the 3rd tractate, the Tractate of Eruvin. The cold Jerusalem breeze did not penetrate the walls of the Israel Convention Center, where all the participants of this event felt the warmth of the fire of Torah.
As we learn the Daf Yomi, we learn of the precision of Jewish halakha.
Around 6 years ago, Rabbi Chaim David Kowalski founded the Meorot Daf Yomi organization that promotes the Daf Yomi learning program.
Thank God, today we have around 12,000 people learning Daf Yomi here in Israel through our program. If they're not in the lesson, they can learn using CDs, telephone, or the internet.
Not every tractate of the Talmud receives such an honorable completion ceremony. So why now?
We feel that now that we've reached the end of Eruvin, the train is already on its way, and people will continue learning with us for all 7 years needed to complete the whole Talmud.
The Eruvin tractate is considered complicated. Nevertheless, many young students were seen at the completion ceremony.
We learn Daf Yomi adapted for the young students. As you can see, even children under the age of Bar Mitzvah are learning Daf Yomi. I'm 12 and a half years old, and I've been learning for a whole year already.
The Jewish people are widely diverse. However, the Daf Yomi project, initiated by the late Rabbi Meir Shapira from Lublin, succeeds in uniting Jews from all parts of society under one unique learning program.
I have a lesson each morning and a rehearsal lesson each evening.
Was this true even when you were the economics minister?
At every time, every stage of life, it's important that we begin our day involving ourselves with Torah, because the Torah is our life.
The Daf Yomi event in Jerusalem was attended by many great rabbis like Rabbi Eliashiv, the Rebbe of Tzanz, Rabbi Aharon Lev Steinman, and the chief rabbis of Israel.
There's an uplifting feeling here of the study of the Torah. It's the sanctification of God's name. The more tractates we complete, the Torah will spread out and even more people will learn.
And now, as Eruvin has been completed, with no intermission, thousands are beginning the next tractate of Talmud, the Tractate of Psachim.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com. or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
On Israeli Salad, we'd like to introduce you to some of the IDF units involved in ensuring the safety of the land of Israel. Now we'll meet sailors from a unit that we can't really introduce you to because these guys' activities are top secret.
It
was cold, dark, and wet as the 88th course of IDF submarine crews marked the completion of their year and 2 months of training. At the end of this course, the cadets received the official submarine crewman's pin. Now, these sailors are ready for the cold, dark, and wet atmosphere below sea level.
It's not as bad as they say. It's really fun. We watch movies, play games, laugh a lot. Oh, and we sleep. We sleep a lot.
It's not so easy interviewing the submarine crewmen. Questions like how deep does the submarine go and where do the IDF submarines operate are answered with silence and a smile.
The submarine leaves the port, disappears underwater, and from there, the whole Mediterranean Sea is open to us.
The submarine is a strategic vessel and an essential part of the IDF. It can collect intelligence anywhere, and its underwater abilities enable the submarine to attack the enemy by surprise. Secrecy is vital to the submarine corps. No one knows what they do or where they are. All that we know is that as part of their service, the crewmen are isolated from society as they must spend many days in their vessels far down underwater.
It's not easy. The submarine is very narrow. It's hard to live inside, but it's worth it for the guys. The guys are great. It's an experience.
One of the questions this religious sailor had to deal with serving in the submarine corps was, when one is in a vessel that is in movement deep underwater, to what direction does he pray?
In the Talmud, it talks about a person who was riding a donkey and he couldn't get off, so he aimed to Jerusalem with his heart. Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions, see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
And now an historical visit to Israel. 2 months after MK Silvan Shalom and MK Eli Yishai visited Tunisia, the chief rabbi of Tunisia returned the favor and came to Israel. Before leaving for Israel, the chief rabbi of Tunisia received a blessing for a safe journey from the Tunisian Minister of Religion. He told me, you can go wherever you want. We're happy that you will meet native Tunisians. The climax of the visit was a visit to the Kisei Rachamim Yeshiva in Bnei Brak. This yeshiva was founded by the uncle of Rabbi Chaim Bitan when the first Tunisian immigrants came to Israel. Shas MK Eli Yishai, whose family is originally from Tunisia, tells us about his visit to Tunisia 2 months ago. Very exciting, very moving to see the Torah schools. In each class I saw pictures of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. The kashrut there is under Rabbi Yosef's supervision. Likud MK Silvan Shalom, also originally from Tunisia, visited the country as well, and he has news regarding the possibility of visiting Tunisia. The first flight will take off this coming May on Lag BaOmer. This will be the first direct flight
between Israel and Tunisia.
Okay, that's all for this week. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Israeli Salad. Join us again next week. Until then, shalom.